Hey everyone, welcome to Math again today. Just before I get started, I'm glad that you're watching this video. Those of you that are, some people are starting to disengage a little bit, and I get why. It's beautiful outside, feels like summer, but you can't. Well, I mean, you can. It's not a good idea though. Who knows what's going to happen in the next month and a half, but you need to be every day looking at your math, and once a week looking at your science, looking at Ms. Olson's Google Classroom every day. Make sure you're keeping up, because when you fall behind, that's where things get intimidating and stressful. So what I want to do with you is two things today. I'm going to try to keep this under 5 minutes, so it'll be short to watch. I want to go over page 238. That was what was due. There's another thing that's due. It's back from last Thursday. It was a Google form, and it looked like a quiz. It's not a quiz, but I still want you to do it. And there's still not quite half of you that haven't done it yet. So get that done. Just so I know you're engaging, so I know you're trying, okay? So on page 238, there's some simple probability, and that just means there's one thing, like you flip one coin, you draw one card out of a deck, you spin one spinner, you roll one die, okay? Number 3 says, what's the probability of drawing a king from a standard deck of playing cards? Well, you have to know that there's 4 kings, one of each suit, out of 52. So your probability looks like this, 4 out of 52. Now to make this a percentage, like we do with our probability, we go 4 divided by 52 on the calculator times 100, and I get 7.7%. That's it. That's all you have to do. Number 4, rolling a 6-sided die. What is the probability that the 3 will face up? Now the common error is 3 out of 6, but that doesn't make any sense, because there's not 3 ways of getting a 3. There's only one 3 on a dice, right? So one chance out of 6 that you're going to be 3. So one chance out of 6. So to make that a percentage, I'm going to go 1 divided by 6 times 100, and it gives me 16.6 repeating percent, or 17% is fine. Okay. Number 5, a student will randomly guess the answer to a question with 5 options. So there's multiple choice, A, B, C, D, E, right? What's your chance of getting it right? Well, 1 correct answer out of 5. So 1 out of 5. 1 divided by 5 times 100 is 20%. Remember, your bottom number is your total amount of things that you could draw or roll, or total possibilities. The top number is what you're looking for, okay? Number 6, what's the probability of drawing a red heart? Well, all hearts are red. So out of a standard deck, again, you need to know that there's 52 cards in a deck, so that's your bottom. There's 52. How many are red hearts? Well, all the hearts are red. There's 13 of them. Ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Jack, Queen, King. So 13 out of 52. 13 divided by 52 times 100 is 25%. Or you could just go, there's only 4 suits, right? 1 of them are red hearts, so 1 out of 4, and you would still get 25%. Okay? What's the probability of drawing a red king? Number 7, red king. Okay, there's 2 red kings. There's a king of hearts, and there's the king of diamonds. So your fraction would be 2 out of 52. Very small chance, right? Only 2 chances out of 52. So 2 divided by 52 times 100, and I get 3.8%. Okay? Number 8 is rolling a 6-sided die. What is the probability of either a 4 or a 5? So not a 4 and a 5, not both, a 4 or a 5. So there's 1 chance out of 6 that it'll be a 4. There's a 1 chance out of 6 that it'll be a 5. So there's 2 chances that it'll be one of those 2 things. So 2 chances out of 6, 2 divided by 6 times 100, I get 33.3 repeating percent, or 33% is fine. Okay? Now there's a section called Extra for Experts, and it's really not that much more difficult. I walked through a few of these last week. This is the spinner. It says it's divided into 8 equal sections, where 3 are black, 4 are yellow, 1 is red. If it's spun randomly, what's the probability of yellow or red? Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4 yellows, and I have 1 red. So the probability that it's going to be one of those is 5 chances out of 8. So to make that into a percentage, 5 divided by 8, because remember this line in fractions means divided, times 100, and I get 62.5%. Okay? Last question. What is the probability of drawing a card less than 5 from a standard deck of cards? Okay, so it says let the ace be 1. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, or ace 2, 3, 4 in each suit. So spades, ace 2, 3, 4, clubs, ace 2, 3, 4, diamonds, ace 2, 3, 4, hearts, ace 2, 3, 4. So you have 16 chances, okay, out of a possible 52 right? And as soon as I have a fraction, I can make a percentage. So 16 divided by 52 times 100 is 30.8%. And that's it. That's that whole page. So if you had trouble with any of that, watch this video, go back, work question by question, get the ones that you struggle with, okay? So the next thing I want to do is this. Page 241 is what I want you working on today. And I'm not going to do the whole page with you, but I'm going to get you set up, okay? So number 2 says, at the top of page 241, throwing a 3-sided die. I don't think you can have a 3-sided die. I don't know how that would work. I think you have to have 4, but whatever. Pretend there's a 3-sided die, numbering from 1 to 3 and flipping a coin. So there's 2 things happening here, okay? So for the 3-sided die, you can have 1, 2, and 3, right? And then flipping a coin, you can have heads and tails. And those events are happening at the same time. So what are all the possibilities? And you can start with the die, or you can start with the coin, right? It doesn't matter which one. So let's start with the die, because that's the way I did it. So I could have a 1, and I can get heads. Or I could have a 1 and get tails. Now that's all the combination of 1. 1 and heads, 1 and tails. That's it, right? Nothing else I can do with 1. Then I can have 2 and heads, or 2 and tails, right? That's all the combinations for 2. And then I can have 3 and heads, and 3 and tails. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different combinations. So my denominator has to be 6, okay? And that lists all of the different combinations. Now, tomorrow we're going to get into something, I think it's called the tree method, and it shortcuts this part right here. But for today, that's what you want to do. You just want to list them. B says, combination of numbers and of heads of tails from throwing a die and a coin. So you're going to roll a dice and toss a coin. So it's the same type of idea, right, where you could have a 1 and a heads, or a 1 and a tails, or a 2 and a heads, or a 2 and a tails. And you just list all those possible outcomes, right? C says combination of numbers from throwing 2 different dice. So remember, there's a shortcut to calculating how many different combinations. Like the first one had 3-sided die and flipping a coin. So 3 times 2 is 6. There's 6 outcomes. B says combination of numbers and heads and tails from throwing a die and a coin. So 6 with a dice and 2 with a coin. So there's 12 outcomes. Here you have 2 6-sided dice. So 6 times 6 is 36 different outcomes. So it's a 1 and a 1, a 1 and a 2, 1 and a 3, 1 and a 4, 1 and a 5 and a 6. 2 and a 1, 2 and a 2, 2 and a 3, 2 and a 4. So there's all those different combinations. 3 says a marble is picked from a bag containing 1 red marble, 1 black marble, and 2 coins are tossed. What are all the outcomes? So you have marbles here, 1 black and 1 red, right? Okay, so you got a red one, you got a black one, okay? And you're flipping a coin, and you're flipping a coin, right? 2 different coins. So start here. You can have a red and a heads and a heads, or a red and a heads and a tail, or reds and a tail and a head, or reds and a tail and a tail, right? And you have to list all those different combinations. Then you can have the same for black, right? I'm not going to do it today. I want you to try it, and then tomorrow we'll go over it. And then finally 4, list all the possible outcomes when these 2 spinners are being spun below. So you have a C, A, and a B, and a 1, 2, 3, 4. So again, the logic is this. You can start with A, because that makes sense, right? A and a 1, A2, A3, A4. Those are all of the combinations when the first one is on A. Second one, you can have a B and a 1, B and a 2, B and a 3, B and a 4. And then C, C and a 1, C and a 2, C and a 3, C and a 4. There's 3 on this, and there's 4 on here, so 3 times 4 is 12. There should be 12 different ones, and you have to list them all, okay? So that's it. That's the answer key from yesterday. That's the work for today. I'm including this week's worth of work in the PDF, so you don't have to do it all. You only need to do page 241, and then anything you missed from Monday or last week, right? So get that stuff done. This week's a short week, so Friday's Pro D, which it doesn't really mean anything, except for we're not posting work on Friday. We're here doing different things, but get caught up, get up to date. There should be some rain this week. Maybe that'll make you inspired to stay in and do some work. We're going to meet together on Thursday, all of us, both classes together at our Google Meet. So we're going to try that, see how it goes. Make sure you show up. It'd be really good to see your faces. We miss you guys. I wish we were back here together. Who knows what the future holds. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.